Call a meeting to order of the regular session of the Police and Fire Advisory Committee, 5:30, February 27th, because I'd like to introduce new commission member Terry Chase, but let's all do like a,
Roll
can
call?
you do a roll call?
Yes, sir. Craig Emanuel, Ward 1.
Craig Emanuel, present.
Thomas Patterson, Ward 1.
I'm here.
Cynthia Conroy, Ward 2.
Present.
Kay Goikovich, Ward 2.
Here.
Sherry Chase, is it Sherry or Cherry?
Sherry.
Sherry Chase, member at large.
Present.
Frank Davis, council member.
Here.
Joelle Landers, city staff.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
It's like talking to yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing on the agenda after the welcoming, which we just had, is the appointment of officers, but it's actually an election of officers. So I would entertain nominations for chair.
What, you're not gonna welcome me first?
Yeah.
We did, I did.
That was quick.
Oh, I said I wanted to welcome new member Sherry Chase, and then I said, and then we'll do a roll call for your benefit, so you know everybody that's here.
So I guess
Yeah,
that's it.
we don't, we're not very social here, so you don't get long.
No, I thought,
When I was
no,
at that airport commission a couple of weeks ago, I got to talk a little bit.
oh, well, we haven't even started yet. We talked,
No,
we
have
talked
not,
plenty.
have we?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, I know.
Oh, keep on going.
Okay,
We're
so
calling for
I,
nominations for,
Oh, I thought she was gonna give us a little spill about herself. Oh, okay.
okay, well, I'd like to nominate Kay Goikovich to be our, whatever you call him.
I second that.
Third.
Can't do that. Now we gotta start all over again. No, I know that.
I'm sorry, may I get the second?
I seconded.
Thank you.
I move we close
What would I have to do?
nominations.
I nominated you, I don't have to do anything else right.
I move we close nominations.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor of our nominee? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's by acclamation. You are now the chair. Now, does she take over right now?
I would like to defer to Mr. Patterson to complete the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't do that.
Not off the hook yet, Tom, there you go.
Yeah, try. Okay, so it says to discuss and approve the minutes of May 23rd. I thought our meeting on the homelessness was after that.
Tom, while we're on an election of officers, can we elect a vice chair as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have vice. Okay, nominations for vice chair,
I would like to nominate Cynthia Conroy.
second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Can we get a vote?
Were you seconding, Tom, or?
Yeah, I was seconding the
Right.
nomination, but now we can either nominate more or we can close nominations.
Close nominations.
Okay, I second that. All in favor of closing the nominations?
Aye.
All in favor of Cynthia as vice chair?
Aye.
Unanimous. So we've unanimously elected 2 officers. Have we ever done anything unanimous, 2 votes in a row?
Especially 4 minutes into the meeting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That
they
should-
can't accuse us of not getting anything done, right?
Well, it's the easy part so far. Yeah, so the minutes of May 23rd, our homeless meeting was at the beginning of the year, wasn't it? Or the beginning of, we've had a meeting.
I think that was previous to
Yeah.
Do
this.
you think it was actually previous to May 23? Okay, so the May 23 is the last one
That's
we
the
had,
last
unless
one.
I were able to get a quorum together. All right. Any questions about the minutes? I think a lot of what was on there got carried forward.
I move that we accept the minutes as written.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we have discussion regarding public information requests. How do those come in? Always? You guys get phone calls? I know I do.
I don't, I haven't received any calls. Are we talking about,
Item 4.
I haven't received any.
Do the public call you or Nina or something when they have
An issue?
an issue, or they just call the police department direct?
I think depending upon what the request is for, if they are looking for, public information or public records request, would either go directly to the police department if it's under their purview, but then they can also go directly in through the city clerk, and they will be, I think for the most part, they go through the city clerk just for record keeping purposes,
Okay.
which would be Ashley Coronado or Nina Williams. So,
And they can also call you guys.
Yeah, I get calls. Of course, a few years ago, I made the mistake of putting my phone number in the Bisbee Watch Facebook page. That really worked out well.
Or a good time call.
Might as well read it above a urinal somewhere. Okay. Move on to number 5, discussion regarding invitation to police chief. Cox, as you notice, we have no fire department representatives, we have no police department representatives, and we don't have a city manager or a mayor.
Well, typically, those people wouldn't be here. And it's
They
been,
used to
and
be.
it's been a long time since you've had a meeting, so, I mean, we can.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have any police and fire until that last meeting where the guy referred us to the city charter every single time we asked him a question.
So next meeting, so when
Yeah,
you
Ken.
can request.
Okay, so do we request that through you, Joelle? Because you're city staff?
yes, you absolutely
Can
can,
you go over
and,
and like slap him around a little bit and say?
I'd prefer not to.
Okay.
But no, I
No,
can.
we'd like, I think
It
everybody'd like
was-
to meet him.
It was on the notes for future agenda items was to discuss inviting him. So if that is the choice, then I can.
He's been in his job about a year now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I've 18 months at least, if not, yeah. So, okay, so I will,
He's a pretty busy guy, so.
Well, but we meet once a quarter for an hour and a half. I mean, it's not like
Right.
and we all do it for free. We don't even get paid, so.
Well, part of our discussion, it would behoove us, I think, to discuss why we might want to invite him, what we might want to talk about, because he might want to know why we're inviting him, since he has no obligation to attend. If you look at who usually attends, it's an on-duty supervisor, or on-duty police officer.
Right.
Doesn't say the chief is gonna come, so it behooves us to discuss what we might want to talk to him about, so that Kay can give an invitation through Joelle, or however that's gonna go, with a list of the things that this board is interested in having him discuss. So does
Well,
anybody?
We've never met him at all.
Well, so, okay, great, meet up, we wanna see your face, okay, I got
I
that.
mean, it's.
We wanna meet him, I've met him before,
okay.
many times.
Yeah, but
But
we
meeting
don't
him-
mean in altercations where you get ticketed or anything.
No, but if we, in order to have it be an agenda item, we do need to make a statement, or, you need to make a decision on what items
We would discuss.
we want to discuss at that time. It
Right.
can't be open-ended, it does need to
Yeah.
have.
Right, some structure.
Yes, thank you, structure.
Like his policing philosophy.
So if I think about it for a minute, I might be able to come up with something I want.
Well, what about
You got
his-
anything?
His philosophy towards the job, policing philosophy. I mean, I'm just brainstorming now.
Okay.
You don't have to throw that in there, but
Okay.
what else we got? Is
Well,
it-
he works, for the mayor and council, right? So it would seem to me.
Well,
He reports to the
City
manager.
Right, he reports to the city manager.
yeah, city,
Right. So
It's
it might be
like-
not only his policing policy, but anything that he feels like that this committee should know, that might
maybe for this. for
It might
this
help us
town
as we reach out to
specifically.
the public.
For
Yeah,
this
this
town
town specifically, because he's only been here a few years, but maybe not only his policing philosophy, which is maybe.
Well, no, I just, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. Then there's what would he like us to know about what he expects from
Us.
us?
There you go.
that would be good.
Right. What does he want to expect from us?
Yeah, give him a little bit of time to think about that.
Maybe his priorities. I mean, I know we got a lot of flack when we want to take up homelessness, but it's obviously an issue here in town, so maybe no one,
Well, the only thing I've had people talk to me recently about, is that there is, as there has always been, again, this is a discussion, maybe somebody will wanna discuss it, but I've had two people in fact, recently talk to me about their sense that the police, and this is, I've lived here 30 years, and I think I've heard this 100 times from 100 different people over all these years, that the police don't seem to be actively engaging in their community. And and this one person was saying, yeah, I sit and look out my business and I watch drug deals go down at the bus stop all day long. And I said, well, have you called them in? Well, no, because they wouldn't do anything. So there is and he says, and that's what all my friends say. And so there's a disconnect still in the age-old police enforcement and philosophy and what the public seems to want to repeat to themselves. So, true or false, the biggest problem being how do we help encourage, in my mind, the public to realize that they have a responsibility. It's not just wait and call 911, it's, and I think, Craig, way back when we first got on this, we're pretty excited. You had a whole bunch of ideas that you thought we could bring forward that would make policing in Bisbee, as it had been at your previous job, better. I can't even remember now, but I was really excited about it myself.
Well, I did
Fencing
have
concept.
a lot of ideas back then, but
Now,
I don't have those ideas today for this committee, but thank you anyway.
well, in 2022, we got quite a bit done. We got the parking lot in front of courthouse, working through the city manager with the county manager, and the graffiti hotline. I've noticed signage is looking better, like there's new signs at the post office, because we discussed parking, and of course we got it later on the agenda, but. And we can submit agenda items to Kay all the way right up to the meeting,
Yes,
or 48 hours before,
well, yes.
so.
I usually would reach out the week prior to the meeting so that everyone gets the opportunity to think and submit any ideas so that we can get them itemized for the agenda.
Sherry,
So,
what do you think? I mean, why did you get on the committee?
don't.
It's okay, you can be mean if you want, or as nice as you want.
I've been in Bisbee for a year now,
Okay.
and I see things that I absolutely love about the town, and I see things that are amiss. And so I thought that this would be a good place to land and get my feelers out and see just kind of get the pulse of what these people, the city thinks, and then to reach out to the public and see where they are and what those needs are. And so being the first day here, what do I think? I think that there's a lot of things a lot of connections that are not being met that can be. And so I would like to see more being done. And that's what I think. That's why I'm here.
I noticed when people come up to me and they've been pleased with the police, many times it's because they had somebody walking downtown. They actually had a police officer on the street, walking the street, and people love going up to him and talking to him.
So why isn't that happening?
Well, that's another thing we can discuss. Also, when I was going to substitute teaching, I get up in the morning and you would see the people rousing in the doorways that had been sleeping in all the doorways downtown. they knew to get up and get out before the businesses wanted to open up, but, you know, pretty soon someone's gonna break a window or a door.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
may Sherry, Sherry, tell us a little bit about you. Can we do that? Or do we have that on the
It's
agenda?
it's not on the agenda, so.
Actually, it is.
Under introduction,
No, okay. Guess you can put it there.
Yeah,
I mean, we're, you know, let's go back a little bit.
Thank you.
Are you a business person, or?
I have been. I was an esthetician for 30 years in Santa Cruz, California. And
Okay.
I've owned 3 businesses, successful businesses, and I really did enjoy being part of the community and reaching out to them, getting events going.
Right,
And so I'm proactive.
very good.
I still have a lot of energy. And I'd like to see some good things happen here in Bisbee. There already is some, and I'd just like to see more.
So do you have a business now, or?
I
Retired?
I am still, I've just started doing facials again out of my
Okay.
house, 2 days a week, and yes, I do have a business license. So 2 days a week I'm gonna be doing that. I'm also a life coach, a Jungian life coach.
Oh, okay.
And I'm doing other little small gigs here and there. I'm buying from estate sales, selling it to consignment shops, getting to know
Okay,
the community that week as well. So I'm having a lot of fun here.
good.
And I am also part of the airport advisory
Oh, okay.
commission as well. And that is because I enjoy flying, and I don't have a license myself, but I just wanted to see that airport continues to have a pulse.
Okay, thank you.
And we can check that one out.
And you give us a quorum buffer, having an extra person. I mean, we
Yes.
met, I don't know how many quarters in a row, 4 people.
Yeah.
And I think we set some kind of record, but thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yeah. That's what I do.
save the day.
A buffer.
Okay, discussion regarding parking and speed enforcement. Any comments on that?
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, we have no representation, so.
Well, right.
There's a lot of enforcement, or there's a lot of speeding?
Well, I know, at night down Tombstone Canyon, the big trucks are just going really fast,
Right,
because it's short. But I don't know what happens with the, you know, how many times have we been told, well, there's only 2 police cars on duty at any given time? And I don't know, does that affect enforcement? We've been told they're gonna put those temporary, where it shows your speed when you're near it. They have a couple of those and they haven't appeared,
They have had those up on.
have they?
Yeah, I've seen them up there. And they're also supposed to be putting in some speed bumps up at the end of West Boulevard. But they haven't, I've got to check on that and see where they are with that. Because last I heard, they did purchase them, but they haven't been installed yet. But they've had the radar thing on the,
Up west.
yeah, they've had it up west, they've had it in front of the fire
Have you
station.
seen it last month?
I don't know if I've seen it the last month, but
That's
I've-
right, it hasn't been active again. It's kinda like what they did before when they had one of these. We have it show up for a couple of months and then it either breaks or disappears
So
or
there's
doesn't get put
there's
out.
another question for the
Yeah.
chief, so.
Yeah.
In helping formulate that question, I would say that the question for the chief is, how are you determining where you're placing your speed radar enforcement cameras? And how did you make a recommendation for speed bumps in West Boulevard, or on West Boulevard? By what statistical information or citation
When
information?
did they get it?
The neighbors up there requested it, so.
Yeah, they actually, about
Yeah.
30 of them signed petitions.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's a couple council meetings. That's how that happened.
Frank,
Yes.
is that county or is that city?
It's right on the line there.
So
The
that's
bumps,
what,
the bumps will be in the city.
okay, so then the city's gonna be responsible for that?
Yes, that's not a county, they won't be in the county, because it's a city thing. But, yeah, you're right, it's where the Borgers are, that last big house on the left, I
Right,
think they're in the county, actually.
okay.
Mr. Davis, were those speed cushions, is that what they refer to those
I don't know.
as? Because I didn't think they were permanent.
They're not permanent, but,
Okay,
but
I
they're
just,
quasi-permanent.
And
okay.
I think they did call them cushions because there's something bad about bumps.
I don't,
Yeah, they're
And-
not real big.
Crappy.
But I haven't seen them yet,
We need
I'm
to
gonna
put
find
them
out
on
where they're
the
at.
yeah.
That's nothing
And-
something you put down the sides of the road.
Mr.
bounce off.
Patterson?
Yes,
When you said big trucks, are you talking,
semis.
okay, that's what I
They go
wanted, okay,
down
so
at
truck and
late at
trailers, that's what I
They
wanted.
go down
to
Tombstone
clarify.
Canyon.
Well, not now that Main Street's
No,
on.
they're not going there
Nobody's
now.
going down there.
Oh, not now.
We fixed that problem, we burned down the building, blocked it out.
Well, you know, I went to the post office earlier, and I noticed that the barricade by the post office, there's workers parking along the barricade, so you can't get into, couldn't have gotten into the handicap parking place at the post office. And then there's workers lined along another place, they need to park somewhere so that they're not interfering with what little, it's a mess, people trying to park and turn around and right now, and they need to, those vehicles are illegally parked.
Who's responsible for that? Is that the police?
Yep.
enforcement, yeah.
I can add that as
So that would be.
I think I
one-
would add that to
a
the
agenda
police chief.
item,
Yeah,
so it's the parking parking issues as a result of the road
But
closure.
our next meeting isn't for another 3 months, right?
Yeah, they'll probably, they probably won't be ready by then.
I'll still notate it.
Yeah, let's just, generally, I mean,
It's an
like, we've
ongoing
had,
question.
when people complain about, they call about handicap parking and no one shows up, and then when Chief Achavi was here, he told us that most of the kind of handicap parking places aren't properly signed. That it has to be a certain height, and it has to be, meet the state requirement for them to enforce. Any other comments? On parking and speed enforcement?
so then when we invite the chief, then that part of that discussion is going to be parking and speed enforcement? Joel?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the general, but yeah, I had, determining where the speed radars are placed, the speed cushions placed, discussing radar not active, so just kind of a general, but you and I can narrow down
Okay.
those topics.
Okay.
Yeah, and it needs to say enforcement, because we can deal with parking and speeding enforcement.
Right,
The streets and infrastructure deals with where the parking is,
Right.
right.
and so but they haven't met for quite a while.
So focus on enforcement.
Yeah, we need to focus on enforcement under our chartered call. Any other comments on parking and speed enforcement? Okay, anybody got some ideas for agenda items they'd like for the next meeting?
I would like to, if I may, Mr. Chairman, have a discussion about the stolen cross at St. Pat's. What's the status of that investigation, if there is any, if it's ongoing or if it's a closed case? And hopefully by our next meeting in May, is that when it is? That we'll be able to have somebody from the fire department to see if we can talk about, if possible, what the status of the investigation of the fire on Main Street involving the two buildings and the other buildings that are in question for stabilization, I guess.
And then I would like to see with a representative of both the police and the fire, a kind of unified or informative discussion of the concern of many citizens regarding the risk that homeless create for fire and property damages. And what is the philosophy of those two departments, and how, again, can citizens, for example, you're asking about the stolen cross, and I had one person given me a very long discussion of how she talked to the mayor and talked to the city manager and wanted to know why a particular person, who everybody's name is known, but I won't put it to record right now, why there's nothing being done about someone who trespasses on property, might have been the person who stole the cross, definitely is the person who has started 2 fires in Bisbee, and on went the list. And so that to me would be nice if we get some feeling of back to sort of a leadership or communication. So if somebody complains to fire, does fire pass it to police if it's police? If citizens ask us, what do we say? You know, how do we tell them there is a plan in place rather than saying, call your mayor, who will then say, don't call me, it's not my job. Call the chief of police, don't call me, I'm busy. Call the city manager, don't call me, it's not my job. You know, and so the citizens left, as is this committee for now, wondering, can't we have a better plan of communication? So I'd be looking for a chain of information and responsibility on those issues that overlap between police and fire, since we are the police and fire committee, right? Does that sound clear?
We requested the call logs, and we were told that they were available.
Right,
I don't know that we received any.
we have,
We have?
yeah,
Okay.
I get them from, Laura, and I've gone through them, and like she indicated before, you know, what she prints is just a small amount of stuff that the police get, the police response, or the police calls that they get. And part of that problem is because our dispatching is no longer in Bisbee.
Yeah, it's in Sierra Vista.
Maybe it's CCOM, or is it CCOM?
CCOM.
Yeah, yeah. So, but what my intention is, as the new chair is, I'm gonna be meeting with the courts, and I'm gonna meet with Laura in person and see how we can make that smaller, where it'll be usable information other than just, you know, but I'll be reporting to the board.
Yeah, she's worked pretty close
Yeah.
with us, and
So
whenever I've wanted to put an editorial segment, she's been
Right.
really good about that, so.
So you would like an agenda item which states that you're going to,
No, I don't,
just so we need to have an agenda item so you can discuss.
yeah, okay,
So I just want to make sure that I'm making note of that if you want to follow up
right,
in regards to that.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you and I can discuss that
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
before May.
And so what was the short version that you made of what I said?
well, communication with the local newspaper.
Communication chain on overlap between Bisbee Police Department and Bisbee Fire Department.
Right.
And I also notated, you would like representation from police and fire, which addresses the homeless impact on properties and trespassing.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Now,
Did I say that?
we could take homelessness up as an old business item, which would come first on the agenda when old business usually comes first,
Right.
but we usually,
Yeah, we'll have to think about that, because
Because
I don't wanna get into a conversation that's gonna be a dead end, and we've
No,
pretty
I
much
agree,
beat that, we've pretty much beat that horse to death. And it's obvious that, you know, our philosophy of what needs to be happening and the city's philosophy is totally different. So,
Yeah, I
let me
think,
think about that.
I think you have a pretty full agenda there now.
Yeah, I do too.
well,
I think-
but it doesn't mean that we're gonna take them all up at the next meeting.
Well, that's what she's working on.
Well,
Yeah, let's not work too
what we discussed in May, I think it was, is that it doesn't matter how many agenda items we have, that anything that we don't get to carries over. And we started, that's kind of the way you do it anyways. But I understand what you're saying, that,
Right,
oh, you know, it's one thing, what I was saying is, I met with the city manager and the
Right.
city attorney, and the city attorney said, we have the right under our charter to take up homelessness.
right,
So we've already gotten in the door.
right, okay.
So if we need to
Yeah.
put it under old
Right.
business, we.
You wanna add that, please, Joel?
Homeless.
Yeah. And then we can discuss that,
It might be something should be.
Right. something new.
We could pinpoint perhaps a couple of items specific? I mean, cause that would kind of tack on to what
What Cynthia
Cynthia had
Yeah.
said,
I
so,
think
Yeah,
that's-
a
As
new
long as-
approach would be to look at how fire and police overlap on the calls, on the responses, on the sharing of communication. That's,
yeah.
I think, we should try to
Kind of
see what kind
pinpoint
of
it.
bridge we can
Yeah.
be, you know, for information from them to one another, to us, to the citizens at large.
Yes.
Yeah.
Focus on
You know,
communication.
the charter says we take up matters of security or safety, even if they do not fall within the fire and police department, if you read it closely. And so homelessness kind of cuts across there's so many different areas that it's affecting. So it needs to be more globally handled, but at least we can take it up.
Okay.
Any other comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move this, we adjourn this committee.
Did we do board comments on future agendas? Is that what we just?
That's what we just did.
Just finished it up, okay.
You need a second, somebody needs a
I'll
second.
second it. Since I can't third it, I'll second it.
Unless there's an objection, we're adjourned.
Okay, it is 6:01 PM.